So the record was invaluable, as were newspapers, and particularly databases of newspapers. And I have to say here, first of all, the book wouldn't have been possible without databases. It truly wouldn't. Because if you think about what I'm saying here, that it was impossible to find this evidence, the only way I could find it was to strategically search, look in different databases, piece things together, and it happens to be a Redex collection, America's Historical Newspapers. Like, I sing the praise of America's historical newspapers because that enabled me to sit at my desk and just rummage through newspapers. The record would, I would look at one of these unpleasantly personal moments, and I would look at the date, and then I could go sitting at my desk into the newspapers and see if they said anything about what happened on that date. So, you know, I say to my students all the time, there are certain kinds of books that weren't possible before you had databases. You know, you couldn't do that kind of broad searching. So in some ways, this is that kind of a database book. And I just thinking as a historian, so I've been a historian long enough that my first book was not a database book. It was a me traveling around the country going to archives book. I could sit at my desk and I could read the equivalent of the Congressional Record. I could go to newspapers and check to see what they said. I could go to Google Books and find memoirs of some of the obscure congressmen that I was writing about. I could find collections of documents, manuscripts, letters of some of the people I was writing about, and piece together these fights while sitting at my desk. Right? That kind of, I'm probably of the generation of historians that dumbfounded me. And every once in a while I would think, I'm at my desk. I haven't left my desk. This is amazing. So all of those things were invaluable.